So thank you again for having me. I think what we saw here last week on Friday is an uncharted territory for Chinese diplomacy. And I made sure with other Chinese scholars, and they say this has never happened before. China not only led mediation process, but also done so successfully with the added bonus without having the US in the room at all. And this is pretty unusual, to say the least.
What is China's motivation to take a step like this?
So China's greatest interest in the region, as many analysts have pointed out, is peace and stability. It's a source of much of its energy, imports, also for trade and investment. The Belt and Road Initiative marks this year a 10th anniversary, and these are all extremely important and primary goal for peace and stability. Another issue is it's a way for Xi Jinping that just been coronated for the third time last week. At the same time, for a high reward legitimacy and prestige at a challenging time in China as it faces many challenges internally and externally. And this is related, of course, to the great power competition, not just globally, but in the Middle East as well, and the battle of narratives between China and the US. And we see that being repeated here greatly. And finally, also, the Middle East is a great platform to market Chinese wisdom and Chinese solutions, as they put it. They believe not only that they have a better alternative to US-led global hegemony, but in the Middle East as well, China has figured it out. And through its peace through development and having experience of successful growth, it can market solutions to the Middle East.
Yeah. Can that be seen, though, separate to some of its aggression, for example, in the South China Sea, its support for Russia in the Ukraine war?
Yeah, I wouldn't connect it to the South China Sea, but I do see a connection with war in Russia because China made such connection possible when, after the success on Friday, they came up again with their 12-point peace solution for Ukraine, and Xi Jinping is slated to visit his best friend, as he calls him, Putin, soon, and also call for the first time since the war started last year, call Vladimir Zelensky. So as we say, the appetite comes with the food. So this success is probably going to give China more impetus to try its hand in different other hotspots in the world.
Tuvia, you talked about the ease with which China seemed to negotiate this rapprochement, this deal between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Was the US's absence easier because they didn't have the same tensions to play with that the US would?
Yeah, sure. And we heard it from National Security Advisor of the U.S., Jake Sullivan, 2 days ago, where he said that the U.S. could not have pulled this kind of move off due to the nature of relationship between it and Iran. So only China could do it, no other major power. Russia, of course, is pinned down in Ukraine, and that leaves only China that actually has a lot of carrots and leverage over the different actors. It has relatively stable, good relations. And it pushed at an open door because the dialogue and need between the two countries had existed for 2 years through negotiations in Iraq and Oman, and even before that. So China was able to just find this window of opportunity and push it through to pass the finishing line.
And how important is this re-establishment of diplomatic ties between Iran and the Saudis?
It's pretty important because for 7 years they cut ties officially. Still, many people here in the region are very skeptic that this would be able to hold. Now they set it for 2 months before they reestablished the diplomatic ties and opened the embassies. But even when they had the embassies in place, the relationship was really fraught and violent. So it still remains to be seen. This is just the beginning.
And how does Israel feel about this?
Well, Israel's a mixed bag. It was also caught by surprise, and currently we're undergoing a very major internal process of judicial overhaul. So everything is along partisan line. And this process, too, it was used by opposition coalition as a battering ram against the other party to say it happened on your watch, it happened on your watch. But after the next 24 hours with positive remarks in response from the U.S. and Israel too, they start to see the the more positive aspects of lowering the flames in the region. It still hasn't solved Iran's other ambitions and hegemony and proxies and its will to eliminate Israel, as they put it. So it really is something that with grave repercussions to Israel, for better or worse.
Yeah. Great to have you on, Tuvia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.